Hello friends, good morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you are missing your mom today, my heart goes out to you. Do something good for yourself. Your mother would want you to do that. Okay, today, these are always, let me just go back. I'm already talking fast because this is a fast talking kind of day. My name's Erin. I'm the Impatient Gardener. I live and garden here in southeastern Wisconsin, zone 5B, 6A. We are technically a 6A. We did not have a 6A winter. You can ask all the plants that died. Okay, actually they were all zone 5s. So I don't think I lost a single thing that was a zone 6. I think anything I lost was, well, maybe there's a couple of things that were borderline, but mostly I lost zone 5 plants. I digress. Usually this is my weekly, very casual, unedited garden stroll. And usually there's a tiny little bit of editing, like I will edit out when I'm turning a camera around, or if I say something really stupid, or I yell at the dog. Those things get edited out. Today, this thing is coming straight out of the camera, so I apologize if this is feeling extra rough today. Let's just go with the flow on it. This is a super busy day. So we celebrated Mother's Day last night, so we had everybody over for dinner last night because Sunday nights are kind of a bummer night to have family gatherings. We all have really busy days. We start Mondays really early. We all have really busy days on Mondays. So by Sunday night, we're all already thinking about work. So it's not a very fun night to get together. So we decided to do a nice, casual, fun dinner at the house last night, which was really sweet and very nice. So I spent most of yesterday, I ran to one nursery. I'm going to show you what I picked up. I spent most of yesterday cleaning my kitchen because you guys, you can tell I have like white cabinets in this kitchen. To my knowledge, this kitchen has been from day one. My understanding is this has always been a white kitchen from the day this house was built in 1934, which would have been very typical for 1934. And I love my white kitchen. I know that some people think they're trendy and some people like them and don't like them. I just like it, so it doesn't matter. But I will tell you that dirty dogs in spring and a white kitchen is a terrible mix. So I was like, I looked around and I went, oh my God, I gotta wash the walls. In fact, we need to repaint the walls is how bad they are. I gotta wash all the cabinets. It looked like a mud wrestling match had happened in here. So I spent much of yesterday actually like cleaning to have people over and then cooking. So you know how that goes. Anyways, I got a lot of stuff to do today and 3 videos on the agenda to film today, not counting this one. I want to start with viewer mail. This is the postcard project. This is where I invite you wonderful people to send me postcards or notes, letting me know what's inspired, where you've been, what garden has inspired you lately, what's been inspiring to you in a garden. And we all share these. And this first one is such a good way to kick this off. So here's the beautiful picture. Erin, I finally took your advice and decided to visit more gardens this year. After reading Bunny Mellon's biography, I impulsively started with her garden. Only open during the historic garden week in Virginia, it was worth a trip. Thanks for all you share. Your neighbor in Minnesota, Carrie. See, this is what makes me love this postcard project. Like, this is not the first note we've got to that extent either, that people go and visit gardens that they have heard about or just visit any garden. Because they have been following along with this. So thank you, Carrie. I'm so happy you went, and I would love to get to that garden. Okay. Ooh, we got a present in here. Oh, chamomile. I know, it's chamomile, but that's the big joke that people call this chamomile. Okay. Here's first one. Hi, Erin. I recently had a chance to visit this beautiful garden in Iceland. Yeah, we all need to go to Iceland. This border was not in bloom yet, but the Japanese garden and rhododendrons and azaleas were gorgeous. The grounds were quite amazing. The Powers Court Garden has had only 2 owners since 1603. Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. The trees were magnificent and the pet cemetery was truly beautiful. Highly recommend this garden in the Wicklow Mountains, not far from Dublin. Oh, Ireland. Ireland. I'm like, I didn't know they could grow like rhododendrons and azaleas. Sorry, Ireland. Also, I would like to go to Ireland. Sorry. Thank you for your beautiful tribute to your mother-in-law and inclusion of family photos. I love your channel and recently met another one of your fans at the garden center at Fleet Farm. I am searching for ginkgo trees as of now since your video. I must have one. Thanks for keeping it real. An ardent fan. This is from D. When is spring coming to our area? I want to see where... Oh, D is basically literally a neighbor. She is from probably 30 minutes west to me. So thank you, D. And the answer is never. As far as I can tell, spring is never coming. All right. One other thing. I actually filmed a little something for this to put in one of the weekly garden stroll videos, and then it didn't get in. So Janie from Dig Plant Water Repeat very nicely sent me her book and a candle. And so actually she sent it to me a little bit ago. So I've had some time to look through it, which is really nice. So she did this with designer Michael Glassman, who she's friends with. And this is all about solving problems in the landscape. And so here's what I would say. First of all, the photography in this book is really quite beautiful. They did a really nice job with that. Michael Glassman used a lot of his photos from his designs, which was very inspirational. So I think this is a really handy reference to get an idea on starting to fix a problem. So if you have a problem, like I feel like this gives you the map that you can use. I don't think it's a deep dive. It's not a deep dive into any specific problem. It's covering sort of general information about a lot of problems. But I think it's worthy because you have enough information to then know where to start in solving a problem or researching how to solve a problem. Some of this is, they both live in California, so some of this is a little bit more geared towards those kinds of climates, but certainly applicable to all climates. Here, I'm just going to flip through so you can see some of the images. Very pretty. They did, let's be honest, we all like a book with a lot of photos in it, but good information in it too. So I don't know where you can all buy this, but I know you can buy it on Janie's website, Dig Plant Water Repeat. So if you're looking for that, here you go. Okay, we're gonna go outside, but first I wanna go look at the bananas. So if you followed along, well, we just did the bananas. A week ago today, actually, a week ago yesterday, I planted these up. They are Mr. Much More Patient's coworkers in his office. Let's go look to see what's in there. I'm going to probably have you looking at my face instead of my messy house on the way there, though. Because if I turn the camera around, you're just going to see the horror show that is this house right now. Okay, here we go. Here are the bananas. Now, I hope you can see this because we're kind of backlit here. Sorry, let's see if I can make you a little light. No, that's the other. Nope, that's as light as you get. Okay, so this is the original banana, the smaller of the two. Let me go this way. There we go. Which definitely looked better coming out of storage. And as you can see, it already started opening up this is how fast it goes. What concerns me is that there is no such activity on the bigger one that I pulled out. Boy, the lighting is really wretched in here. Sorry, guys. There we go. There's no such activity on this one. I even cut the tip off a little to see if that would help. And maybe I see a little something. Oh, I think I'm just being optimistic. Anyway, it's just a little concerning to me that this one leapt out already and this one didn't. So I will keep you informed, but this is what happens. It's insane how fast these usually get going. Hopefully we see something happening this week with that other one. Okay, let's go outside and look around. I'm gonna turn you around again though, because again, the house is a mess. All right, let's go this way. All right, here we go. Hang on, one more thing. Let me show you the beautiful bouquet that I made for last night. So these are branches from the serviceberry that we cut down. And so they are starting to, I've been forcing them. So they are starting to bud out. I love a spring container with some branches in. And then this is super simple, guys, but this is what's in my garden right now. A whole bunch of different daffodils and a bunch of bluebells. And in a very special vase, this is a vase that the Bel Air Garden Club gave to me when I spoke there. So, and it's actually like the perfect shape and size for flowers. Really nice big arrangements. So that's basically my first bouquet of the whole, actually my second, because I did make one for the neighbors as a little bit of a housewarming gift because their construction is, and then they're still buttoning things up, but they're living there now. So, so I went over there with a little housewarming gift for them. Okay. Good morning, Darwin. This dog has really taken after his brother Odin. There was a hummingbird that just went by. Has really taken after his brother Odin in that he will just lay outside all day long if you let him. So Dorothy is a total, we just walked by her. You wouldn't see her. She loves being underneath the kitchen table. So she's doing great. You guys, sometimes people ask about her because you don't see her. She has never been the kind of dog who follows me around or anyone. She just likes her spot, and her spot usually is inside. Sometimes it's on the deck. Okay, I did get a, bought some plants this week. So I'm fortunate to, I have some wholesale accounts. So sometimes I will buy a load of wholesale perennials, which I did this week. I've got shade ones over there, ironically in more sun than these right now, but you know how that goes. I'll just walk you through what I got. Some of these things are, where are we at here with this? Some of these things, there we go. That's better. Some of these things are, I have specific ideas for. Some of these things are just plants that I use a lot in the garden. So, Darwin, why can you, are you eating those or what are you doing? Some of these things are for specific things. Some of these things are plants that I use over and over and over again. So it's always good for me to have spares, and I know I can slot them in different spots. Okay, this is Veronica. This is Skyward Blue. So I grow Skyward Pink, and it was a sample plant sent to me a couple years ago. It's the best Veronica I've ever grown, so I got the blue one. Limonium, sea lavender. You can see what those look like. I like to use that in a lot of places. In fact, I think it's one of those plants that I think slots in very well. This is Prairie Dock. I had to order it in a tray of 12. I'm definitely going to have to give some of those away because they will, I mean, they're huge, enormous plants. They get like 4 feet wide. You wouldn't know that. But Darwin, hey, excuse me. Can you, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't think you should be doing it. See what I mean? How I edit out when I'm talking to the dog. 2 types of liatris, white and cobalt, which is kind of the shorter, regular purpley one. Stackies, humolo, I use it everywhere. I can always use more of it. It's stackies in general, but I have a lot of humolo too. I just picked that. So usually when you buy wholesale, you have to buy trays. You can't buy individual plants generally. So sometimes you buy a lot of something. Ladies Mantle. I know it's absolutely absurd that I buy more Ladies Mantle, but I probably use Ladies Mantle more than I should. It is maybe it's a bit of a crutch for me, but for me it works in so many different situations, and I like it so much that if I'm stumped on something, Ladies Mantle or Geranium macrorrhizum will usually do the job. Calamintha Montrose White. I got 18 of the little ones and 6 of the big ones. I had to buy a bay thing because I realized the other day we were trying to cook something. We had no bay leaves. I'm like, what is that about? We'll come back to those. Some Cecularia. That's autumn moorgrass. Some coneflowers. Powwow white. The tall guy right here is Fireworks, Solidago. I added 2 to the garden last year. How silly. So I needed a 3rd. Salvia caridana. And then some more Millennium Allium. Another plant that probably is a bit of a crutch for me. I use it everywhere, but it's just it's such a good plant. Some of these plants are so good and so adaptable that I go back to them over and over and over again. And it's probably not a bad thing to have that kind of consistency. These were not part of that order, but I did pick up some new Ascot Rainbow euphorbias at the hardware store because mine all look like this and they are not coming back. So we lost those. And then I think I lost an Amsonia, you guys. What? So I picked up a string theory at the hardware store. Now, what you see here are some of these new ajugas. This is part of this Feathered Friends collection. And I've really been on the fence about whether I like this lime green. I mean, I love the purple ones. And I know some people hate ajuga because it can be super aggressive in some places. I find it to be well-mannered here. So I know that ajuga is kind of a trigger point for some people because in some, and that's a note about all ground covers. Ground covers are ground covers because they cover the ground. And that means that how they behave will be extraordinarily different given all kinds of different conditions. So in some places, a thug is a well-behaved plant. So some places this is a thug. Anyway, so I found this yesterday at that garden center I went to. And this is the one I really wanted. I saw this on Heather Here She Grows, shared this on her Instagram. And I'm like, oh, I want this one. So this is the leaf of chocolate chip, but in chartreuse. And this is cordial canary. This is a leaf more like black scallop, but in chartreuse, this is tropical toucan. So, I mean, you guys know I adore chartreuse. So I found them there. They were at like $4. So I picked them up. I also bought at that nursery yesterday parsley and dill. And I did it because they were really cheap. And you guys, I needed a whole bunch of parsley and dill for dinner last night. I'm like, I'm just going to cut some of it off and then plant them in the garden because that's cheaper than going to the grocery store and buying a bunch of cut parsley and dill, if you can even find it. Dill is extraordinarily hard to find in the grocery store. I can't fathom why. Okay, 2 things to note. One, these golden curls willows that I got at Home Depot last year are leafing out. That one in particular is gorgeous. This one was always smaller than that one. I'm trying to get them to match a little bit better. So I'm trying to water this one more. I don't know if that'll work or not, but we'll see. So this garden in front right here, right now, is basically overrun with Virginia bluebells. And I love it. Because imagine how many weeds seeds are not germinating there right now because they're shaded out by this. So keep in mind there's nothing. There are very few things actually in this garden right now because I do so many dahlias and annuals in here. So we've got tough stuff, tiny tough stuff, hydrangeas in here. We'll look at those in a second. I've got 3 of the Hudson River clematis here, and there. Since we lost the euphorbia that was here, that's gone. Of course, we have right there is my Kinsley's Ghost honeysuckle, which you can see I have sort of formed up. We showed that in a video. There's a few shrubs along the back, but if it weren't for this Virginia bluebells in here, all of this would just be open ground right now, waiting for a weed seed to germinate. Obviously, I make a ton of flowers from this. I also think it's very pretty. And when I'm ready to plant something here, or I'm ready to, oh, he's barking at a deer. Good job, Darwin. Oh, maybe you can see them. They're just hanging out over there. Let me see if I can zoom you in enough. Can you see those guys standing on the road right there? Oh, they're going to hide behind the oak tree. Look at them prancing along. All happy. Anyway. So I just cut the foliage back, throw it in the compost pile when I'm done with them. They come back every year, no problem. They don't care about anything. Tiny tough stuff. I think a couple of weeks ago, Darwin. Oh, Lord. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned not to be too hasty if you live in a colder area with cutting back your hydrangeas if you think things have not flushed out. And there's, I don't know, six or 7 of these planted here. And so most of them are looking quite good. You can see that we've got growth, up to the tips. That one's quite good. This guy is looking pretty good, although like you can see there's like a big branch in here. So I will wait a little bit before I cut anything back. This guy, obviously, we've got some, well, actually that one's kind of like half and half that it came back. We've got a lot of growth from the bottom, which is fine. These bloom on old and new wood, so we'll be fine. This one right here in particular, basically only is coming up from the bottom. So that's good. It's clearly alive. So I will, but I'm going to keep waiting because as you can see, like, hey, excuse me, out. You can't come in the garden. Thank you. So I might have thought about, excuse me. You guys, he's really a teenager right now. He is just like a teenager who thinks they know everything. So I might have cut this back, but now that I look at this, I see I've got buds breaking up here. So again, I'm just gonna keep waiting. There's no rush. There's absolutely no rush to cut those back. Nothing bad's gonna happen by leaving stems that may or may not be shot. So, and clearly you can't even really see them with all these Virginia bluebells in here. So again, my caution to you is be careful. Keep waiting before you start deciding that something's totally shot. Isla Gold looking great. That's Isla Gold Tansy. I just ordered a third one. I could divide that one, but I quite like the bigger clump. I'm going to put it over here, I think. I'm going to put that new one over here. Do not step in there. Oh, it's your football. That's fine. Yes, good job. Good job. So, yeah, I just did an order the other day, and I ordered another one of those. I think I'm going to put over there or possibly in here. This is my problem, you guys. Like, I would love to plant those things, but so few things are up that I don't really know what's coming where. I mean, you don't know what lived and what didn't live. So sometimes I think you gotta just hold off. I did come through here. Oh, you guys, I have a great video that talks a little bit about this area that I just have been trying to get edited. I filmed it last weekend. It should be done by now. It's not even a hard edit. I just keep running out of time. Anyway, I came through here and we'll talk more about this, but I mulched this with pine straw, which is what I'm going to use for mulch this year. And then I realized that I'm pretty sure I'm going to put drip irrigation through this bed this year. It's super dry here already, you guys, like scary dry here already. So on the good side of that is that will help the jumping worm population, because jumping worms need moisture for those eggs to hatch. And since we had an epic jumping worm population last year, I'm sure there's a lot of eggs laying in the soil. So that would be good. But I mean, things are just so dry. So I already am starting moving the sprinkler around. It's shocking. So I don't irrigate anything on this property except for the front border there underneath the window box, and the vegetable garden. I'm going to add drip to this. That will not be on automatic timers. I will have to connect the hose to it, but I think it's necessary because things are getting super dry. Here's a tree peony. I think we only have three buds on it. This guy, I think he might be in too much sun. He kind of gets smaller every year. I planted a Cole's prostrate, say it very carefully, Cole's prostrate hemlock over there, which is going to come over that wall, which is going to look great. This is a clematis called Anishka. It's a Russian one. Beautiful. This will flop over as well. It's not a climbing one, so this will flop over. Over there I've got sapphire indigo, which is coming up. And those are ones that come up from entirely new stems. So you can remove the stems fully. That's sapphire indigo right there. So those just flop over the wall. That's how they've been intended. This is always the first one to bloom. So exciting. Here's Guernsey Cream, all budded up. Guernsey Cream is certainly one of my most favorite clematis. It's so beautiful, and it's early, so it's fun to see something. I wanted to show you this last week, but I forgot, which is that I got a wild hair the other day, and there was a chunk over there by the garage where we've got the climbing hydrangea growing. They like any other hydrangea, they root themselves really well. If a branch lays down on the ground, it will root. So I dug one up and I stuck it in here, just planted it there. If it takes, I'm gonna let a climbing hydrangea, very slowly, because that's how they behave, work its way through this bed as a ground cover, and we're gonna see what happens. Got nothing to lose. Oh, the weed. Last week, the weed. Well, there's a cardinal. He just flew away. Let's look at the woods while I talk about this. I had this weed last week and I said, help me figure it out. Literally an hour after I filmed that video and put it up, I went, oh, for gosh sakes, Erin. It's Canadian goldenrod. The red tinge on it was throwing me off. And I usually don't have it in that bed. It clearly got over there, seed from seeds. So, and I'm familiar with Canadian goldenrod. It is an absolute weed and thug here, but it's not as bad as some things because at least it's a native plant. It's not, you know, I mean, it is aggressive, but, you know, there are certainly far worse things that are lurking on this property than that. So anyway, the red tinge was throwing me off, and then I saw it in another spot, and I go, this is, duh, Erin, it's just for, and I don't know, God, finish a sentence. I'm so sorry. I just move on to the next sentence before I ever finish the next one. Excuse me, did you just, can I help you, sir? I picked up some goldenrod in a place where I recognized it right away. I'm like, this is exactly the same leaf. The only difference is the red stem. And then I went looking around, and I think it's when it's younger, it has that kind of red flush on it, because I found smaller seedlings of it popped up other places in the garden. I'm like, oh, duh. Anyway, some of you very adept viewers also spotted that as goldenrod, and yes, you were right. We are looking at the woods now because I don't know if we showed the ostrich ferns last week or not, but they are now growing, you know, many inches a day. They are now 3.5 feet tall, probably in general. I mean, it's so beautiful when they're like this. Soon they will cover all this. You will not see any of this because it will just be a wash in 6-foot tall ferns. But it's so, so, so beautiful. Here's a spirea. Poor thing. We still have not gotten wood chips from the neighbor. We're getting that taken care of today. That's Mr. Much More Patience, one of his jobs for today. Here's the clematis that's popping up over here. I do need to get some fertilizer over here. This is Purpurea compacta. So this is, oh gosh, there's a name for it. And it's a name that doesn't make any sense because it's named after a person, but it's a color and it's not purple. Anyway, has purple stems, quite bushy, but this is the compact version of it. There's a big one that is huge. So this one will stay, I don't know, 3 feet tall or something. And I've got my little, I showed you this little trellis-y thing. I actually think, you guys, I said this garden fared well, but now that I'm looking at this garden, like I said, I put these little stakes in where there's a plant. And there's a lot of things where I'm not seeing things coming up. Actually, unfortunately, one of the things that I think I might have lost is a plant that I absolutely loved, and I'm actually getting more of. Here's some more. There's some more goldenrod for you right there. Was the Stokes Aster Riptide. I found the tag. Here's the tag. Riptide Stokes Aster. Here's the spot where I planted it. Well, I sure don't see anything happening there. I see some creeping Charlie, but I don't think so. Did I lose all those? I don't know. I don't know. It's a mystery right now anyway. Got to keep waiting to see when things are going to pop up and when they're not going to pop up. I don't know if we went over here yesterday. Oh God. So look at, I don't know if you can see this, but like that, this little spot right there, that's all Canadian thistle coming up. So I got to get in, Canada thistle coming up. So I got to get in there. And I see I've got garlic mustard weed that decided to flower already. Holy smokes. It's all happening. Over there, where's the finger? Right there. That's all the butterbur. It's all Petasites japonicus. So we've been looking at this almost every week and watching it. And I told you it just grows like crazy. But also, I mean, look at how big this enormous rhubarb. This is the weird rhubarb that was always here, growing in the shade when it was shade. And, oh, we got to zoom you out a little here, sorry. Growing in the shade. And it's huge. My other rhubarb is like 6 inches tall. It's It's wild. Yeah, so, okay, so it's official now. I mean, we've known, and I keep warning you that Butterbur is aggressive. It's moved over here now. I'm probably going to want to dig this out right here. Probably want to stop the progression this way a little bit because now we're starting to run into things that were planted here. This side, I'm totally happy with. This is a problem. You can't tell plants which direction you want them to go. This way, totally happy with it. Coming into this bed, less happy with it. So probably we'll have to start doing some, active management, I would say. Lots of other things actually happening. First of all, the golden full moon maple that we planted in here is leafed out almost, well, you can see it's still leafing out, but it's so beautiful. This is a matcha ball false spirea that I planted last fall. That looks great. We've got thalictrum coming up in here. Things are looking good over here, actually. What doesn't look good is where we planted little Monty here. So what I'm doing is I'm extending this bed out. We're gonna get some more curves in here, and Monty will become part of the bed. So what I need to do is get in here and I need to move grass. Here's Roy's garden. Looking good. I think I probably have to thin out some of the geranium that's in here. I think it might be getting a little aggressive, and probably interplant that with a few other things so we don't just have a giant block of geranium there. This is stackies and Sporobolus aroides in here. I need to make a trip down to Roy's nursery, Northwind. I wanted to do it this week and it didn't happen because I would like some more of that aroides, Sporobolus aroides, and you're not going to find that anywhere else. And in fact, a lot of those cool grasses I'm just not going to find. This is, I think this is Carex spermoides down here, which seems to be happy there. I see a lot of Coreopsis coming up there. Again, some of these things, well, finally the epimediums are popping up, which is nice. Nice to see them. The hostas are all growing quite a bit every day, so this is where we need to really be on top of the deer repellent, because when they put on so much growth, you have to, the deer repellent only works on what it's on. So you really got to be on top of keeping the deer repellent going, because otherwise they come and munch them and they will not grow new leaves. You can see through here that we've got a lot of ostrich ferns. I do thin those out. I leave a few of them, but I don't want, they're quite aggressive. I don't want them taking over that area. It's actually been a fight forever. Here's a beautiful little primula blooming. I have to say, this part of the garden right now, I'm trying not to show you something. This part of the garden right now it's just so beautiful, especially right now when the sun's on it. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about the hairy little weirdos. Shredded umbrella plant. Hello, let's get you in the sun so you can actually see something. There we go. Shredded umbrella plant emerging. That's always fun. We've got trilliums in here right now. That's Trillium grandiflora. We've got lutea, which is the red one lutea? Oh, I've got the red and the yellow. I can't remember which one's which. Oh, I think it's Aurelia Sun King. Thank God. You guys, I bought another Aurelia Sun King because I'm like, did it come back? There it is. I couldn't remember where it was. Actually, that's going to be the perfect spot. I was worried that I didn't know where it was. So I was worried that we had put it maybe too close to this Northwind maple, but that's actually the perfect spot. That'll be great color contrast there. All right, fabulous. It's actually looking a little crispy because I think it's in a lot more sun than it used to be. It'll be just fine. It can handle, up here it can handle sun just fine. Okay. Somebody asked where Dawn's Early Light is because they particularly like this hosta. I agree, it's a beauty. There it is right there, coming up. And over here, finally, we've got the Crown Imperial Fritillaries in bloom. So you must look inside these when you... Is that not the most exotic looking thing? And those little drops in there, now, shit, oops, sorry. Somebody told me what those are called. But those are like little, they're nectaries, that's what they are. And insects can crawl up there and get that nectar. But, you know, get a close look at your plants, you guys, because really cool stuff is happening inside of them. Here's tough stuff hydrangea. Again, looking a lot like tiny tough stuff in terms of growth. Some better than others. Again, nothing's getting touched right now. The Asian pear espalier has we got lots of buds and some flowers on it. Of course, I have no buds or flowers on the pear tree that's supposed to pollinate it, so we're probably not going to get any fruit again this year. We'll just quick look at the shade plants that I picked up in that load too, by the way. Ghost fern. I do love ghost fern a lot. European ginger, Heuchera autumn bride, Heuchera villosa autumn bride. None of these things are earth-shattering, by the way. Amber queen epimedium. This is Estelboides. Well, now they changed the name. Apparently it's Irrigation. So it's Estelboides tabularis, but now it's apparently a Irrigation. It's supposed to get huge leaves, but quite temperamental about where it goes. So I've got 3 of them. We're going to try that for the first time. There's the Aurelia Sun King. Gosh, I picked that up. I found it somewhere. It was like $10, which is cheap for that plant. So I'm like, well, we're going to grab it extra. I can always use more of it. This is Pachysandra percumbens, which is native Pachysandra, unlike the other kind of semi-evil Japanese Pachysandra. Virginia, how do we pronounce this? This one's Winter Glow. It's clearly flowering. And then I got 3 Halcyon hostas. Just looking down this border quickly. You know, I always want to keep this border very, very, very low maintenance, which is why it's basically all shrubs with a few little ground covers in there. After seeing what I'm about to show you over there, I really think I need to do a massive bulb planting in there for next year. Oh, wait, let's just look at this this super cool willow that's in here. See, this is why I have to leave these tags on until I get Iceberg Alley sage leaf willow. Look at the flowers on it. You guys, this thing has been covered in bees for the last few days. They love it. Isn't it cool? God, I saw one of those at Bailey Nurseries last year when we were there, and it was just huge. This is Carpinus, well, this Carolinius, the American hornbeam, fire spire. It's starting to they get these cute little catkins on them. So these are the start of the catkins on that. Okay. All right. Moving down the road here. We'll talk about this area. This was the cardboard fiasco gone wrong last week. We still haven't really dealt with that. Okay. This is what I wanted to show you. I think this is so gorgeous. And I'm like, why don't I have this kind of color over there? So, first of all, there's 2 things that make this gorgeous. One, certainly the daffodils. Second of all, the new foliage on the Hakanakloa or Hakanakloa, Japanese forest grass coming up, could not be any more beautiful. I mean, I just think that combo is so beautiful. I like to plant all early to mid-season daffodils. I do not like to plant late daffodils in most cases because, you guys, here we are. It's, Mother's Day, and we're just seeing daffodils flower now. Late daffodils flower like really late here. So I like to have that stuff cleaned up and done by the time I really like working in the garden. But I am just enamored with this part of the garden. I have not taken down the cage around the dogwood yet. This is Big Apple flowering dogwood. It was put up just to keep the deer off it for winter. It could come down now, and it should, but sometimes it's kind of nice to just like one less thing to have to worry about spraying right now. I did add in, my mom dug up yesterday, I call this snake root or Actea think there's another name for it, Simicifuga. Those are all names for it. My mom calls it black cohash. Anyway, she dug 3 out of her garden. That one, they're big clumps. This guy right here and that. And so when my mom digs plants out of her garden, the deal is if you want them, she will put them in a grocery bag for you. And you must pick them up and you must plant them immediately. And I can get behind that. Lots of crested surf ferns coming up in here. Lots of weeds too, but we're not looking. Avert your eyes, folks. Here's Ellen Thalictrum. Really nice, looking really good there. Here's things like caramel. This is caramel cinnamon stick heuchera, which couldn't be any smaller if it tried. We're kind of coming to the end of the marsh marigolds here. You can see when they're sort of done, the tips of the petals get white. So those are pretty much done. Oh God, I just see, anytime I see purple blooming this time of year, I'm like, oh my God, it's all Creeping Charlie. What I see over here is a lot of, what is it called, you guys? You're looking at it, you know what it is, and I can't think of the name. Golden Alexanders. It's a big reseeder. So this area has really filled up with a lot of that. Oh, I see some Monarda coming up in there. Oh, my shadow. Jeez Louise. I think this is Monarda bradburyani. Possibly, I forget which one I planted over here, but that's fun. That's good. That'll keep back this. This is an early bloomer, really beautiful, but a big reseeder. And you can see that it has reseeded somewhat prolifically here. So probably worth keeping an eye on a little bit. The serviceberry tree is still laying there. The guy who took it out for us said he was going to come back and pick it up. So, okay. Talk about lessons in patience. I'm still waiting to see growth on this Caryopteris. This is gorgeous. I actually ordered more of these. So I do hope we see growth here soon, but usually you don't cut these. This is sort of a sub-shrub, and the deal is you don't start cutting it back like lavender kind of until you see growth. Still no growth. Still waiting. Gosh, I see a lot of weeds when I walk around. I don't really want to talk about those. Oh, here, let's go in the vegetable garden, and I think we'll actually wrap it up there. But I gotta get the water running in here. We got water on the hose, but I don't have the timer set up yet. I did get the sweet peas planted this week. I did not make a video on it because you've seen me do this before. There's not much to it, but everybody got all the middle beds here, got their sweet peas. I wanted to get the beds painted before I did that. That didn't happen, so alas, I'll have to wait. We do actually have buds on this pear tree. This is Bartlett. Last time I was talking about it, I called it the bad one. Now I can't remember that name of that one. Anyway, I got a lot of people who were really upset. This is Bartlett pear, which is supposed to be the pollinator for that Asian pear. Let's go check out what's happening with the apple. Garlic is getting tall. Look at that. Gosh, interesting. It's very all over the place here. Ooh, this doesn't look good, does it? I don't see anything happening there. A little bit behind there. And let's check on the Espalier Royal Raindrops. Well, the foliage looks great. Oh, we have a few little, I do see a few little buds starting to form there. Well, that should be, either way, still really pretty. That's looking pretty good. I mean, yeah, we're gonna go with yes. It is looking pretty good. End of story. Okay, that's, oh, Darwin, you do not need to help with those. All right, turning you around here. Hi, okay. It's me. All right, I'm going to end this there because that was a pretty big walk around, but that's good news because it means there's a lot to see in the garden right now. I'm really enjoying that one sort of woodlandy shade-ish that I just showed you that was all in sun here in the morning, part of the garden. It just looks, it's just looking, it's nice to have that when there are other parts of the garden that are looking kind of in shambles. Oh, gosh. Speaking of shambles. Okay, I got to get on with the day here. I hope you guys are having a great day in your garden. Have a great week. Hopefully you will see all of these videos that I'm filming today sometime this week, which would be a lot of videos, but we are getting to that part of the year. Thanks for all your support. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Yada, yada, yada. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Bye, everybody.